Hello to you. Well, my name is Scott Pickett. I'm the CEO and founder of Wealth Migrate, the Global Wealth Group, and the Wealth University. And what I wanted to share with you was a testimonial about my experience with Ryan Pinnick. Now, Ryan talks a lot and teaches a lot about intuition. But what I love about Ryan is that he's really gone to a higher level of consciousness. And I just want to share with you why I say that. Because in simple terms, 12 months ago, we had a product and it was making naught. I literally have been presenting from stage, teaching people how to do stuff for, nearly 20 years. And we put a product together. We read Russell Brunson's book, Secrets, and Expert Marketing, or Expert Secrets, I think is it called. And we put the whole playbook together, and we did the entire workshop, and we had a couple of hundred people turn up, and we did the pitch. And we ran this thing for 4 hours and we did the pitch and we got to the end and I was all excited and we made naught sales. Naught. That was July last year. And it was so interesting for me because I'd read the book Expert Secrets. I'd read Russell Brunson's stuff and yet I knew Ryan. I'd known Ryan since 2005. And I was very fortuitous. I'd spent time with Ryan in London. We actually just went for dinner. And I was explaining the problem, and he said, "Well, don't worry, I'll help. I know how to do it." And so he literally sat with myself and my partner Shane and our team, and he took us through the process. And he took the exact same presentation, and he just made subtle changes. And again, you can have the theory. Anyone can have the theory. When you go to school, we all learn the theory, but we need our teacher to tutor us when we don't know what we're doing. And that's a classic example with Russell Brunson. The theory is incredible. The frameworks are amazing, but the execution is what's difficult. And so, I believe it's a lot like Pareto's principle, where literally it's the 80-20. You can have all the substance, but it's the 20% that makes the magic. And Ryan Pinnick is that magic because he literally took our presentation, didn't really change any of the content, just changed the way we did it. And the very next month in August, we ran the same workshop and we closed over 20% of the room. Yeah, you heard me right. Over 20% of the room. We went from naught sales to over 20% of the room. I'd have to go check the stats, but I think it was 22% of the room. And each month we got better. We then got to 25% of the room. We then got to 30% working with Ryan. And I just can't speak more highly for this guy. And the thing is, it didn't take a lot of time. In fact, it was like his decades worth of knowledge was downloaded and shared with us in days. And that's what changed the rules of the game. And so, Ryan, has taught me a couple of methodologies, and I want to share them with you because, one of the things, if you're looking for, who's the ideal client? Well, I'm a business owner. I've got a passion, a deep, deep passion about creating a world of wealth, health, and happiness by having lots of fun, inspiring growth and change. And so what that's all about is teaching people. For 20 years, it's about teaching people and ultimately then helping them invest around the world. We've got members in 178 countries. We've facilitated $1.3 billion in investments around the world on 5 different continents. And Ryan just changed the whole framework of that because we went from giving away our education for free to teaching people, them seeing the value and them actually paying to be part of our education program and then wanting to invest. And ironically, they ultimately, I'm going to teach you now what he did as well. So, who's the perfect type of person to work with Ryan? Well, it's really someone that wants to be an A player. It's really someone that knows they've got significant potential. It's someone that's done a lot of self-development already, done all the work, been on all the courses, read all the books, but just needs that final 20%, that magic, that catalyst, that, it's hard to explain. It's just that thing that just changes things. And that's what Ryan brings to the table. And I believe it comes a lot from his intuition coaching because at some level for me, intuition is tapping into the universe and he's tapping in to the universe to help you unlock your own genius in terms of that process. So that for me is in terms of the ideal client. What are the problems that person, myself, is facing? Well, again, at the end of the day, I'm a top producer. I go out and I'll spend all the money. I'll go on all the courses. But it's just not unlocking it, just not getting that greatness out there, not being able to share the message, not being able to get enough value to enough people. And that's frustrating. It's very frustrating when you're not adding enough value to enough people, and you're not, you're playing below your potential, and even your own intuition's telling you there's magic within you, but it hasn't been released. And that's what Ryan, for me, helped unlock. And why did I decide to work with him? Well, it's quite simple, basically. I trusted my intuition. I've known Ryan for a very long time. He's got something magical about him. I've worked with him, for many times, and every time that he said he'll do something for me, he's more than over-delivered. I mean, if I've ever met a guy that under-promises and over-delivers, that man Ryan Pinnick would be one of the guys right at the top of the list. So, that for me was quite important, basically. In terms of the product service, obviously Ryan offers different things, but in our case, in our team's case, he brought a unique set of skills. Like, it wasn't one thing, it wasn't A or B, it was a unique set of skills. And quite frankly, for me, it would, I would say it's unlocking your potential, it's unlocking your genius, it's unlocking what your intuition's already telling you is possible. And so for me, whatever it is that you resonate with, or what you're thinking about, I would highly recommend that you look into more around from his perspective. Now let's get back to those results. So July last year, naught sales, naught revenue. So standing start in July of last year, naught sales, naught revenue from our Wealth University. Fast forward that 12 months, about $170,000 in revenue. It was 140 out of one product, and if we add the other one, it's about $170,000 of revenue. So $170,000 of revenue from a standing start in July last year to 12 months later, $170,000. We built the entire value ladder. We got digital products. We got top end products. I mean, our product, the only product we had when I met Ryan was a $197 product. We now got a $997 product. We got a $2,000 product. We got a $5,000 Mastermind, where we got members in 32 countries from Ireland, England, Germany, Italy, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Swaziland. I mean, it's phenomenal, like just the most incredible. And none of this would have happened without meeting Ryan Pinnick. So I don't know what more to say to you about the results. Naught to $170,000. But most importantly, he's unlocked my genius. And my partner Shane, like, we're just in our flow, we're loving it. And the best part is, for our other businesses, it's like clients are coming in, they're so excited, they love what you do, they build trust with you, and they're crying that they want to invest. In the past you were like, I don't know if you've ever been in business, I don't want to use the word begging, but using sales approach or whatever to get people to invest. And now it's the complete other way around. It's like, hey, I get it completely, here's my money, I want to invest. It's a complete framework change in terms of the whole thing of what it is. The consequences if I hadn't have done the coaching with Ryan and the team hadn't done the coaching with Ryan, who knows? I don't know. We might have figured it out. Maybe a couple more years. Tony Robbins teaches that thing. You've got the dabblers, the stressors, and the masters. I've never been a dabbler. Dabbler is someone who just tries stuff and then gives up every time. I was traditionally a stressor, which is where I want something, and I'll do everything. I'll read every book from Russell Brunson. I'll go on every course. There's this new sales guy, I've just forgotten his name now, who's just done that $50 million challenge. The guy that looks, gangsterish. I can't even remember his name right now. Anyway, there's like these phenomenal people. I read all of them. I follow all of them, whatever. So, we might have got there one day, maybe 10 years from now. But maybe we'll also, and that's the stressor. But what is the master? Well, the master just cuts through all that stuff, and they just kind of like, bugger that. I want to go straight to source. I want to go straight to the person that's already doing it. I want to learn from the best. I want to be trained and coached and partner with the best. And that's what I got in Ryan. And all that you do, Richard Branson's the one that I model with that. He just goes straight to the top. He finds the best person and he gets the results quickest and, quite frankly, safely and simply. And for me, that would be the consequences. So if you're a stressor, if you've got lots of excuses, if your intuition's telling you not to do it, then don't do it. But if you're a top producer that ultimately, knows you've got a lot of potential in you, your intuition's telling you that you need to unlock, all of this value that is in you, your genius, etc., then I don't know a better man that has the key to unlock that within human beings in terms of that process. In terms of, me, I mean, I don't know how to say this without being arrogant, but I've done it all. I've had private coaching from Tony Robbins on Fiji Island, Chet Holmes, Roger Hamilton, you could name it. Trying to think of them. There's literally all over the world. I've been on masterminds. I've been part of Singularity University Mastermind with Peter Diamantes. I've spent 2 weeks on Necker Island with Richard Branson. I've been part of Roger Hamilton's Crystal Circle Mastermind. I'm part of Mavericks, which is one of the top entrepreneur groups in America. I've worked, and are friends with Jeff Walker on the internet marketing side. So, really without being arrogant, but I've literally consistently tried to put myself in the place where I'm the dumbest, poorest person in the room. I've done personal development for 25 years. I've always gone out and tried to find people to help. And quite frankly, in Ryan's case, he wasn't the first person I spoke to. I actually spoke to a number of people to try and help on this marketing thing. In fact, I'd probably go as far as to say I tried to do it for 10 years. And literally for 10 years, every digital marketer promised me the world. And quite frankly, the results were shocking. No better than I could do on my own without all the costs. Ryan was different. Ryan was that 20%, that just the magic. And I would even go as far, if you keep playing with Pareto's principle, you go 80-20, and then if you go 80-20 again within the 20, you get to 4, and if you go 80-20 again, you get to ultimately around the 1%. And Ryan truly is that magic. Ryan and his team are that top 1%. They literally move the needle, and it's that 1% that kicks the dial in the right direction in terms of that process. So, I think I've probably said enough about Ryan. I know this is a very long testimonial, but for me, why I wanted to share with such sincerity and such honesty is that a year later, I can't thank you more, man. I'm 46 years old. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 25, and I truly feel free now. I feel free, the ability to be a global citizen, the ability to do what I love and share with the world, the ability to monetize, the value that I've got. And, as my uncle always said, there's nothing better than going on holiday every day and getting paid to do it. And you've unlocked that in me. And to you and your team, I'm deeply grateful. And, quite frankly, I'll stand on any stage, come to any webinar, and just quite frankly, arm wrestle people that they should follow you and learn from you and take advantage of your services. The final thing I'll say, a horse, Ryan or me can take a horse to water, but ultimately, the horse has to drink. And as Ryan teaches, it's all in your intuition. Follow your intuition. I did. It was the best thing that ever happened to me.